This was yesterday morning. I finally managed to get out of the apartment and do some landscape-ish photography. For me-ish. But this Godox GM6S Pro I received for free to review about 5 weeks ago. And I started using it basically right away to familiarize myself with the thing. Links and whatnot will be in the description. I spent a bunch of time shooting family video with it. Then I used it on some client shoots, one of which I had arranged to serve as the basis of this review. But here I am not using it as the basis of this review, as you may have noticed. But there were 2 reasons I thought that this one particular shoot would be a good fit. One, the location can get awfully bright, White Sands, New Mexico. In the past, on certain days at least, I found it basically impossible to use anything other than an optical viewfinder out there. It wasn't so bad the day that we shot there, though. But without a doubt, this monitor was brighter than both the screen and the viewfinder on my camera. But on the way back from the shoot, the 4-hour car ride, we spent about 2 of those hours looking through the images on the GM6S Pro, talking about what we liked, what we didn't, choosing favorites, and that all worked out great. So during the past 5 weeks, I've used this monitor a ton for shooting stills, video, previewing photos with clients, as mentioned, retro gaming, actually, and movie watching. A little bit of photo editing, too. All the accessories I'm using, and a bunch more, came with the monitor. They're included in the price. The micro HDMI, which is what my camera takes, to full-sized HDMI that I'm using here, came with. But the box also included a mini HDMI to full HDMI and a full HDMI to full HDMI. 3 different flavors of HDMI cable. So every camera with HDMI is covered. Also, this hot shoe monitor mount came with the monitor, and it's pretty good. And those can be pretty expensive on their own. I've had quite a few hot shoe monitor mounts fall apart over time, so who knows, but 5 weeks in, this one is still working great. I have not needed an Allen wrench so far, but it comes with the appropriate Allen wrench, should such a thing be needed at some point, somewhere, someday. I do not do a ton of reviews, just because I don't typically like doing them. I generally say no when offered, because I just like to do my own thing, mostly. But this monitor is great. Using it is a joy. I have basically no complaints, or at least very few complaints. It's budget friendly and it delivers, as Godox products often are and do. But if you will now indulge me, I would like to rattle off some specs and features. Then I'll get back to my subjective experience. The Godox GM6S Pro is a bright 5.5-inch field monitor with a 1920 by 1080 touchscreen, 2000 nits of brightness, which makes it genuinely very usable outdoors without a hood. However, it also comes with a hood. It has full-sized HDMI in and out. It has a headphone jack, runs on standard NPF batteries. It also has a USB-C port for power if you prefer, a DC input if you prefer, and a DC output, so you can power your camera from the monitor battery via a dummy battery not included. I'm a fan of the company and their products, though I did do a review a while back where I was pretty critical of a Godox product, despite it being very affordable. That particular product did not work for me, but this one does. This is a great field monitor for 1,000,001 uses. It's tough, made from machined aluminum, sturdy but lightweight, and includes multiple mounting points, top, bottom, one on the right. It's portable, it's functional, it's not intimidating in the slightest, even if you haven't read the manual. I know this because perhaps I myself did not read the manual. I didn't read the manual. I was overcome with a case of the lazies. I want to mention why I agreed to do this review, because I think that will help provide some context for whatever I'm going to say next. Possibly whatever I've said already. If you're looking to buy it, understanding where I'm coming from will be useful, I feel. This is a category of product that I really like and use. I own or have owned, besides camera bodies and lenses, probably more field monitors than any other type of photography, videography gear. I don't mean hundreds of them, but 5 or 6 at this point, maybe. I mean, basically everything I do, whether for personal fulfillment or a living, is either entirely visual or, in some cases, audio, for example, isn't in itself visual, but the tools are. I recognize we're living deep in this age of smartphones, miniaturized portable tech with amazing hardware, but the software on phones and tablets is still mostly horrible. And it's a real impediment to getting any kind of real work done. I went all in on working on a tablet instead of a traditional computer about 7 or 8 years ago. That was a failed experiment. Honestly, failed is putting it lightly. It was a disaster. But I don't like carrying my laptop with me when I'm shooting. I don't want to physically have to carry it, and I certainly don't want to leave it in the car. That leaves as my best option a field monitor and a Raspberry Pi, which is a tiny single-board hobby computer, very small, can run off of a power bank. The monitor can also run off of a power bank via USB-C, which I really appreciate. My car's dash USB port can't provide enough power for the monitor, but I always have a power bank with me, and that works just fine. So, a lot of the time, not always, but if I need to do any mobile computing, I will have a Raspberry Pi and a field monitor in the trunk of the car, because I figure it wouldn't cost that much to replace them. So I don't worry that much. It doesn't hold me back from getting as far from the car as I need to. Good, easy, cheap, reliable, replaceable, portable computing. It's really not a bad setup. Feature-wise, here are some things I didn't really use much in particular. I just played around with them for a second, but they're all great inclusions that I probably would use occasionally on a long enough timeline. A bunch of monitoring tools, waveform, vector scope, RGB parade, histogram, false color, zebras, focus peaking, plus a few more. It supports loading up to 25 3D LUTs from an SD card. You can supposedly compare your live image against a LUT applied version, split or side by side. I actually did not try that. Nor did I try to load any LUTs. I just read that you can. So forgive me. That's not a thing that I do. One of the more interesting features, something that caught my eye at least, it lets you save a screenshot as you're rolling video or whatever onto an SD card. Though after I played with that for a while, I'm far less interested. I find it too slow to be useful, personally. I suppose it could depend on use case, but I timed it. It's like this, using a very fast memory card. The first screenshot after you turn the device on takes almost 10 seconds to save, and subsequent screenshots take about 5. Don't buy it for its screenshotting capabilities. On the plus side, nothing lags while it's saving the screenshot, so you can keep right on shooting. So perhaps that's useful for something. Like I said, it's just too slow for me personally to ever want to use it for screenshots. Nice idea, just not implemented great. Another potentially standout feature that I got very excited about is camera control. You can evidently adjust ISO, shutter, aperture, start and stop recording. And what I was most excited about, you have some amount of control over focus, right from the monitor. Now, sadly, I can't be more specific because this requires a proprietary cable that does not come with the monitor. So, bummer. I should probably clarify, I did eventually read the manual. I just did not read the manual before I started using the product. But a while ago I got into shooting VHS again. And yes, I can put the giant bazooka camera on my shoulder and shoot it that way. And I like shooting it that way. But if I want to make videos about the process of taking photos, as I do, I really can't do it without a field monitor. So what I'm really looking for in this product at the moment is a dedicated monitor that can live in the bag with my VHS camera. And I feel very pleased with this being that monitor. There are 5 physical shortcut buttons on the top of the monitor. There's a combo clicky scroll wheel, which I like a lot, as an alternative to touchscreen. Godox is always really great about giving you both hardware and touchscreen controls on the same device. This monitor boots up fast in relation to other field monitors. It's certainly not instant, but it's the fastest booting monitor that I have. A user interface, while it's not going to win any awards for beauty, it's very functional, very clear, easy to find what you're looking for, and quickly. The brightness, as mentioned, is excellent. The contrast is also in line, I would say, with other budget-friendly monitors, which is to say perhaps leaving something to be desired, but certainly good very much good enough to get the job done. Viewing angle is outstanding. DCI 4K at 60 frames per second is, according to the manual, the highest resolution and frame rate that you can input into the monitor. However, I was able to do 8K, so I'm assuming my camera body understood that limitation and made an adjustment in what it was outputting, because 8K worked perfectly fine for me. 5 weeks of throwing it in a bag, there were 0 scratches on the screen. I do have a little scratch on the metal where it scraped against something else that was metal, but it is definitely not prone to scratching in particular. This is this morning, the next day. It was cold yesterday, but it's absolutely miserable today. But I was going to stay out here quite a bit longer. I barely got any shooting done. And then I sliced up my leg. I have first aid stuff with me though, so it's fine, but I got a bunch of snow in my boot and pants, and I just didn't really feel like continuing after that. It felt like a cosmically ordained stopping point, so I stopped. But links and whatnot for the monitor will be in the description. Thanks for listening, watching, and so forth.